Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Schwartz Advisors report from Aftermarket News. I'm Emma Henderson, managing editor of Aftermarket News. With me today is Brian Cruikshank. He is a partner at Schwartz Advisors. How are you doing today?
I am great, Emma. How are you, and how are all my friends at Babcock's?
Oh, we're always great. So we're going to revisit a topic we've already discussed, but it's incredibly important right now. That's tariffs, because they seem to change frequently. So how is the M&A market responding?
Well, nobody likes chaos or uncertainty. And so we talk to investors all the time. We're involved in M&A transactions. And I would say that concern, now, maybe caution is a better word to describe kind of where we're at. Everybody knows that Canada, Mexico, and China are central to the supply chain, and the tariffs on China are causing some concern in the M&A market. And even though they've said that they're going to move these potential tariffs 90 days down the road, and doing the same with 50% tariffs for EU products, it's just kicking the can down the road. And so it's not doing anything to quell uncertainty. We had some folks at the Jefferies Investor Conference last week in New York City, and I think the temperature in the room was about the same. People are cautious. Just in discussions with investors, they say that things are clear as mud, and until those muddy waters clarify, I think people will continue to be cautious.
So is that caution slowing deal flow?
That's a great question, and it really depends on who you ask. Anecdotally, for us, yeah, things are slow. And when I talk to private equity firms, and I talk to private equity firms several times a week, as do my partners, we're hearing the same thing. And in discussions with investors at the Jefferies conference, people said that things are slow, and I think it's out of abundance of caution, just because they don't know what the landscape is going to look like in the near term. That being said, not everybody has that view. Just last week, Capstone Partners issued a report that had a pretty glowing outlook on the aftermarket M&A market. And they said that year over year, M&A transactions are up almost 31%. That there have been 51 transactions year to date versus 39 transactions year to date last year. So they're seeing an uptick in M&A transactions. Just we're not seeing that.
This goes back to the clear as mud thing. So is it feeling slow? Is it slow? Are you seeing that or not?
Right. So it's not that we're not seeing it. It's just not been represented in our day-to-day conversations with investors. After reading the Capstone report, I went back and I kind of wanted to look at what deals have been done so far this year. And there's actually a pretty good list of some notable deals that have been done, and I have them right here. So Whistle Express. That's a platform of Oak Tree Capital. They've acquired the Driven Brands car wash business, Valvoline, the oil change business, not the oil company. They're in the middle of acquiring Breeze, which goes to market under the Oil Changers brand. There's been a bunch of tire dealer acquisitions. There's been a bunch of collision deals. Audax has a tire dealer platform, Dobbs. And they just acquired Conrad's Tire Express, which is right where you guys are in the Cleveland, Akron area. So deals are getting done. I think the overriding theme here is the kinds of deals that are getting done. All those transactions that I just mentioned are all in the non-discretionary service segment of the aftermarket. And the Capstone report kind of reinforced that we are seeing interest in non-discretionary services and less interest elsewhere. But of course, all that could change tomorrow.
So based on all of this, Do you have any predictions on how the M&A market will end this year?
You're asking me to predict what the Trump administration does? I don't think anybody has that crystal ball. I will say that no one likes uncertainty, and investors continue to be interested in the aftermarket. And as I said, certain segments of the aftermarket are of more interest than others. There's a lot of capital that investors want to deploy, and they're just waiting for the right time and the right deal to deploy it.
So just to clarify, you have no predictions at this moment.
Well, okay. Look, I will make this prediction. Whatever I'm saying right now will be different in 3 months. This reminds me of a dinner I had a long time ago as a young aftermarket guy. I was fortunate enough to have dinner with the late AutoCare CEO Al Gaspar, and I was a young aftermarket guy. I was kind of experiencing my first difficult time in the aftermarket, and Al looked at me and he smiled and he said, "Brian, I've seen this before. This too shall pass." And it really gave me a sense of comfort. I don't know that we've seen this exact story before, but to echo Al's sage comments, this too shall pass, and the waters will clear, and we'll all know exactly what's going on, and the M&A markets will get back to normal.
And a year from now, we'll be having this conversation. It could be totally different.
Oh, it will be totally different.
Well, sounds good. Brian, thank you so much for joining us today. And for everyone who tuned in, thank you so much for watching.